Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video on tips and advice for people that are new to military collecting. What I can tell you is it's very fun and very rewarding. I feel, collecting military stuff, it's not just a hobby. I feel like it's a way of honoring and preserving, the memory and legacy of those that have served. Also, doing our part to help keep history alive because we know there's so much going on in the world nowadays trying to erase history or pretend that certain things didn't happen. And really, it should be talked about, it should be learned about, and everything. That way, it doesn't happen again. And so, studying, researching history is not a bad thing. Collecting historical things is not a bad thing at all. But again, as far as the military stuff, it's a lot of fun. I've been doing it for probably about 17, 18 years or so. I'm 38 years old. I was around 21 or so. I did grow up watching war movies and collecting war books and stuff, but I never thought I'd collect stuff. But it's been so fun all these years. Again, rewarding. I'm so passionate about it, and I want you to be passionate too as well. And so I just wanted to give you some advice. I feel like, it's always good in a way maybe to have a plan or an idea of what you want to collect. And those types of items, it's definitely a good thing to do research, to gain knowledge. Knowledge is power. So the more you know about an item or items, the more you research and study and educate yourself, the better chance you won't find yourself in a situation where you buy something that's not original or something that you didn't really think it was what it was. You definitely don't want to greatly overpay for something. But at the same time, sometimes if you really want something and you don't see it very often, a lot of times you might have to pay a little bit more than you want to. But again, just research, you reference books, online research is all that's very important. It's also good to build relationships with other collectors and everything. I know some people aren't really people person. They're kind of, loners, I guess. That's not a bad thing. But the more people that you can talk about and learn from, especially collectors that have been in the hobby longer than you, it's always good to kind of pick their brains and maybe even have their contact information and use them as resources to kind of help you if you're in the middle of maybe potentially buying something or you got an item you're kind of thinking about but unsure of. So definitely have people you can talk to. And just honestly, just know and understand that it takes time and money to grow a collection. It takes time. Again, it takes money. It's not going to you're not going to snap your fingers and you're just going to have this amazing, massive military collection in one day. Unless you win the lottery or something, you buy whatever, what I'm saying. But it takes time. So just pace yourself, enjoy it. You want to have fun while you're doing this. Don't let it become a chore. Don't let it frustrate you or aggravate you. There's going to be times where you might need to take a break from it. You might need to take a break from hanging out in your man cave for a few days or a week or two. You might want to take a break from going to stores looking for stuff, or maybe sometimes you just need to slow down and just enjoy what you already have, and learn more about it and move it around in your man cave and everything. And again, just enjoy what you already have before you continue to buy more. Another thing is, let people know what you're looking for. Kind of get your name out there if you want to. People who are pickers, other military collectors, family members, friends, co-workers, let people know what you collect, what you're looking for. And that way they can help keep an eye out for things that you could add to your collection. And you can do the same thing for them as well, no matter what they collect. Whether it's old bottles or coins or whatever it may be, Hot Wheel cars, so you can kind of help each other out. We can help each other, so to speak. Another thing is, I'll say if something doesn't feel right, if your gut, if you just sense or feel something's not right, a lot of times you want to go with your gut because a lot of times your gut is not wrong. It can be, but I'm just saying if you find yourself in a situation where you're very uncomfortable or you don't like what's being said or advertised or the price just seems crazy, a lot of times you might want to hold off on whatever that purchase is or transaction because it might be a sign or a warning that you might be getting into something that you don't want to. So there are those situations for sure. A lot of times when you see something, though, the time to buy it is right when you see it, especially if it's within your budget or price range. Again, nobody likes to overpay for something, but like I just said a minute ago, there's going to be times when you might have to pay a little bit more to get something you really want, maybe to fill a hole in your collection or just something you haven't seen, you've been wanting for a while. and it's in the price range, that you're comfortable paying. So a lot of times, if you don't buy it then, if you go back later that day or the next day or a little bit after that, somebody else might come behind you and buy it, and then you'll be kicking yourself because you didn't. So keep that in mind. And then a lot of times, what is an item worth? What should you pay for something, right? So that's where, reference materials and education and knowledge on items and stuff can help you in that area. But a lot of people say an item's worth what someone is willing to pay. You might have somebody that would pay $10 for something. The next person might pay $50. Another person might pay $200, but not everybody has the same budget or money to spend or interest or whatever, you know what I mean? And so whatever somebody's willing to pay, I can tell you that I don't like to overpay for stuff. Again, I've paid more than I've wanted to many times. But again, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever's within your budget for sure. Again, I mentioned always have fun. It's a fun hobby. There's so many great people in the hobby. At the same time, you gotta be aware of the people that aren't that great or don't have the best interest in mind or don't care about history. Or, unfortunately, it seems like every hobby, has to be kind of ruined in a way or messed up by people that have bad intentions, scammers, or people that want to, fake stuff or whatever you want to call, alter stuff and change it. Unfortunately, there's people like that in the military collecting community. I wish there wasn't, because honestly, in my book, they're trash, but you just got to be careful of certain people or situations you don't want to deal with or find yourself in. Cash money is a good thing. Cash talks a lot of times. Even nowadays, I know we live in a digital world. Everybody does digital transactions a lot, or you got the plastic debit card or credit card, but cash money can and will help at certain times, because it's something about being able to put that money in somebody's hand, putting that cash, counting money out on a table, counting money out in someone's hand, compared to just like an invisible transaction that was done online. They can't see the money right then. Or, you take a plastic card out and you swipe something or stick it, whatever. But again, cash money. People want to feel money in their hands, you know what I mean? So just keep cash on you at all times. Also learn how to haggle some. It's okay to go back and forth a little bit respectfully. You don't want to insult somebody. You don't want to be insulted. But learn how to haggle, negotiate, make a counter offer. I mean, the worst can be said is a no. But, somebody, hey, I'm asking $200. Well, if they say they're asking, that doesn't necessarily mean their final price of what they're wanting to accept. They're asking. So, you know what? I know you're asking $200, but would you take $150? Or I know you're asking, whatever, $50. Would you take $35? It doesn't hurt to ask, and maybe you can even get them down just a little bit and save yourself $5, $10, $20, I like to save money. It's always good, because then you got money for more things, right, later on. If you want to sell something, you got to weigh out the pros and cons, because, a lot of times you might sell something that you don't really want right now, or it doesn't fit your collection. And then a little bit later on, you're like, crap, I shouldn't have sold that. You'll have what's called seller's remorse. You don't want to, you find yourself in a situation. But honestly, a lot of us that have been in the hobby for a while, we've been in those situations where we're kicking ourselves. Maybe we needed money for a better purchase, a bigger purchase, or something more special. And then later on, we're like, man, I should have kept that helmet or that uniform or that gun or whatever. So really weigh out the pros and cons before you sell something that you're still kind of attached to, because you don't want to kind of kick yourself in the butt later on. Another thing is, I would say, be picky and choosy at times. You don't have to buy everything that you see. I know a lot of you guys watch my videos and probably think, man, he probably buys everything. Y'all wouldn't believe the stuff that I don't buy. I pass up a ton of stuff. You know what I mean? I kind of be picky and choosy, be more conservative. I work hard for my money. I'm not rich at all. I can't buy everything, believe it or not. I can't. I got limited space in my room, my man cave. I'm always moving stuff around, and sometimes I do have to sell stuff. Sometimes I'll trade or whatever, but just kind of be picky and choosy would be good. And just understand also that most of the things that people collect are common. Now, I know there's some little random collections people have, little areas of Militaria they focus on, but again, just most of what is collected, most helmets and guns and uniforms, bayonets, canteens, they were made in the millions. So don't get tricked into something, somebody says something's rare, you know what I mean, and really 20 million of them were made. That's not rare. Now, if you got a helmet, for example, and only 500 of them were made compared to 20 million of another one, okay, then that's pretty rare. But again, most of the time, the canteens or whatever you see, or you in an antique store or a place for sale, whatever, it's common. They were made in the millions. Millions were made. They're not rare at all. They're probably not uncommon. But at the same time, you might not see them as often or as common as other people. It might depend on where you live in the country or really in the world. You know, some people might see them more often. Some people, you know, might not very often see them. You know, but then you go to military shows and everything, and there's 500 of them on one table. You know what I mean? So that's just where, you know, you want to, you know, if you see something you really want or need for your collection, you might want to buy it right then. But just understand what's uncommon, what's common, what's rare, and so forth. I would say always be open to learning. You can never know it all. I know there's some people think they know everything, but they don't. Again, I've been doing this about 17, 18 years, something like that, 17 years, I think. And I don't know everything. I have a lot of knowledge. I've gained it from research, study, just from collecting along the way, from other collectors, watching other YouTube videos, Facebook groups, different things. I've educated and learned and gained knowledge over the years. And so you'll never know it all. It doesn't matter if somebody's 500 years old and been in the hobby for 495 years of their 500-year life. They're not going to know it all. There's always something more to learn. And I love to learn. It's fun, you know, to gain knowledge, because knowledge is power, right? You know, find out about gun shows or military shows, gun stores, places like that in your area where you can visit and maybe find, you know, things, again, for your collections. I go to a lot of gun shows. I go to military shows, some. You know, that's where you can really find some pretty cool stuff, meet great people and everything. Another thing is, I would say, you know, visit antique stores, flea markets, yard sales, estate sales. Get online and research the area you live in and find local antique stores or upcoming flea markets or upcoming yard sales or estate sales, Craigslist. There's so many online resources to use to find places you can go and potentially find military stuff for your collection. So be active. Don't just stay at home and wait on everything to come to you. Don't just buy off eBay or online only. Get out there and build relationships. A lot of the antique stores around here know who I am. If they don't know my name, just by my face, they know, okay, that's the military guy. He's going to be looking for military stuff, because I've been doing it. I've been going all these places for years, and it's several places around me within a decent driving distance. So the people know what I'm there for. A lot of times people will reach out to me. Hey, Jonathan, I've got this helmet, or I've got this uniform, or are you interested in buying this collection or whatever, because I put my name out there and let people know what I'm looking for. Also, you know, whenever you buy stuff, you won't always get back what you put into it. There's some items you'll be able to maybe sell, break even, make a profit, make a lot of money on, maybe take a little bit of a loss on, but you know, you can't always get your money back into a hobby or collection. It doesn't always work that way. Now, obviously, making a profit is a good thing. You know, who doesn't want to make a profit, right? But sometimes, you know, there's been times I've sold stuff that I basically broke even on, you know, or I might take a little bit of loss. I mean, not a killing, you know, but you know what? I took whatever. I lost $20, $30, $40 on something. It's not very often, but most of the time I'll make a little bit of money, and that way I can pass things on into the hands of another collector who will enjoy it and appreciate it and so forth. Also, just a few more things. Learn how to display and present your stuff. I know people are limited on space. Some people got a small bedroom or a closet or whatever, but if you do have a decent amount of space, learn how to display stuff, because that's what it's fun. Like, I get more enjoyment out of my collection when it's displayed instead of just a bunch of stuff piled on top of each other, and then you're forgetting what you got. Now, sometimes you do run out of room, but the more stuff's displayed and maybe well lit and tagged and advertised or whatever, you know, it's funner to look at and enjoy, again, instead of just a bunch of stuff piled in the corner of a room. I mean, again, I know people have limited space, but just think about how you display stuff. Also, you know, join Facebook groups, Instagram, YouTube. Share your collection if you feel to do so. Again, I know some people are more private, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But, you know, part of the fun and enjoyment of collecting anything is being able to share it with people. Now, you got to be careful who you invite into your house, because they might have bad intentions, or word might get around what you have, and then somebody else who has bad intentions might try to come for your stuff. So use wisdom and everything. But again, there's a lot of military Facebook groups. There's Instagram. People share pictures and stuff on. YouTube videos to watch. If you want to make YouTube videos, I really enjoy it. I'm passionate about it. It makes me happy. It's one of the fun things in life I enjoy doing, making these videos. So that's something you could do to share your collection. And then also just be mindful of, again, like I said, who you let in your house. Don't let collecting become a competition, because again, I mean, we can't have it all. So don't get frustrated if somebody else has more helmets than you do, or maybe a better gun collection for right now, or whatever, or their display man cave looks better than yours. But don't be jealous. Jealousy is not a good thing. I'm not a jealous person at all. I'm not. There's people who have great collections that I'm like, you know what? I'm happy for you. That's awesome. You're doing so good. You're doing your part as well to help keep history alive and honor those that served. So your collection's great. And you know what? I'm going to keep focusing on my collection. It's not a competition. I'm not going to try to outdo somebody. There's people like that, but I'm not that type of person. I'm going to have fun with what I'm doing. I'm going to be passionate about it, share it with others, enjoy others' collections. My collection will continue to grow, and yours can too. Again, pace yourself. It takes time. And then also, just be aware of reproduction and fake items. This is another thing where you want to research and study stuff. Really educate yourself on what you want to collect, because there's so much stuff that's greatly faked or reproduced out there, because there is a difference between fake and reproduction. Reproduction is stuff that's been started to be reproduced. It's being produced again, whereas fake stuff is stuff people have intentionally added to or taken away from or altered in a way to deceive people into getting more money from them, to trick people, to fool them, basically. But again, reproduction stuff is being reproduced. It's being made once again, But again, be aware of that. And then also, I would say, have a lot of children. The more kids you have, the more eyes you can have and people you can teach to look for stuff that you can add for your collection. Teach your spouse or whatever, but have like 85 kids, because I've got 4 kids, and I even have taught them over the years what to look for. So that's more eyes that can help find stuff for daddy's collection. I've even got a dog. I'm working on my dog. She's right here, trying to teach her on what to look for when we go to antique stores and flea markets. I'm totally just kidding. Please don't have a bunch of children, especially if you can't take care of them, because that's not what God wants. But I do have 4 children. The oldest 3 have been taught and trained basically what to look for in case I overlook something if we're out at a store or something. My wife knows what to look for too. But it doesn't hurt to have more eyeballs helping you. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you like this video. I hope if you are a new collector, you'll consider subscribing to my channel. There's several other really good YouTube channels out there. Just a few of them. There's so many I can name. Just a few. There's Kenneth Reese. He does great. Keep them rolling. Milsert Mike. That's just a few, and I apologize if I didn't just call you out, but there's so many I could name. But just let me know what you think about this video. You collectors already who've been in the hobby for a while, comment on this and give more information, stuff I might not have said or thought of, just to help the newer generation of collections that are coming on board. But anyways, God bless all of you. I'll be getting back to you soon. Thank you.